There are places in the world where history does not rest, where memory stains the walls, and time refuses to move forward. Places where the past walks alongside the living, quiet, unseen, yet undeniably present. One such place once stood in the small rural village of Borley, in Essex, England, an isolated rectory surrounded by open fields, whispering trees, and a silence that was never truly silent. It was called Borley Rectory, and it would become known as the most haunted house in England. For nearly a century, stories of apparitions, phantom footsteps, mysterious voices, and violent, unseen forces gripped the nation. Journalists, investigators, clergy members, skeptics, and psychics all were drawn to Borley Rectory. Some came seeking answers. Others came seeking proof. All of them left believing the same thing. Something was alive inside that house. Long before the rectory was built, the land carried its own legend. Locals spoke of an ancient monastery that once stood nearby, and of a tragic story that has echoed through centuries. According to the tale, a monk from the monastery fell in love with a young nun from a neighboring convent. Their love was forbidden. When they attempted to escape together, they were caught. The monk was allegedly executed, and the nun was said to have been bricked alive inside the convent walls. No record confirmed this story, yet the locals believed it. And when strange sightings began centuries later, they always described the same figure, a veiled nun, wandering in silence, searching for someone she had lost. Whether myth or truth, the legend set the stage for what would come. Because when Borley Rectory was built in 1863, the first people who lived there almost immediately began reporting the nun. The first residents of Borley Rectory were the Bull family, led by Reverend Henry Dawson Ellis Bull. At first, the house seemed ordinary, large, Victorian, brick-built, with many rooms and long hallways. But it wasn't long before the family began to notice strange occurrences. Phantom footsteps echoed through empty corridors. Soft whispers were heard in the dead of night, and multiple members of the family claimed to see the figure of the wandering nun silently crossing the garden path. One daughter described looking out her window and seeing the nun standing directly below, motionless, staring upward, her face hidden beneath white veils. Attempts to approach her always ended the same way. The figure vanished. The Bulls reported the events quietly. They did not want to be dismissed as superstitious. But the house was already earning its reputation. When Reverend Bull died and his son, Reverend Harry Bull, took over, the activity increased. The nun was now seen regularly. Strange lights appeared in rooms where no lamps were lit. Objects moved without being touched. Servants left one after another, each claiming they felt watched. Visitors who stayed the night spoke of cold spots, invisible touches, and the sound of a horse-drawn coach, though no wheels touched the road outside. Then in 1927, Reverend Harry Bull died, and the house fell quiet. For a moment, because Borley Rectory had merely been waiting for its next family. In 1930, Reverend Lionel Foyster and his wife Marianne Foyster moved into Borley Rectory, and with them came the most violent haunting the house had ever known. Marianne reported being slapped, shoved, and thrown from her bed by invisible hands. Objects smashed themselves against walls. Mirrors shattered without cause. Books flew across rooms. And then the wall writings began. Words scratched into plaster. Marianne, help me. Please get help. Rest. It was as if the house was speaking directly to her. Marianne later described Borley Rectory not as simply haunted, but as alive. Before we continue, if you're captivated by true stories of real haunting, paranormal mysteries, and unexplained history, take a moment to subscribe to this channel. Turn on post notifications so you never miss when we uncover the next story waiting in the dark. Your support allows us to continue exploring the world's most chilling documented mysteries. In 1937, the house was taken over by Harry Price, a well-known paranormal investigator. He brought equipment, researchers, recorders, and an open mind. For an entire year, his team documented apparitions, phantom voices, movement of objects, temperature changes, and apparitions of the nun appearing inside rooms. One investigator described standing in the quiet dining room when a figure of a woman passed directly through the wall and dissolved like mist. Price believed the haunting was genuine, and he believed the spirit wanted to be heard. When newspapers published his accounts, Borley Rectory became famous. Crowds gathered outside its gates, hoping to glimpse the impossible. But the house did not like attention. In February 1939, a fire broke out inside the rectory. The flames moved unnaturally fast, as if guided, consuming the house in a matter of hours. Witnesses claimed they saw a woman's figure standing in an upstairs window, not panicked, but watching. When the house collapsed, the hauntings did not end, because the ground itself seemed to remember. Years later, excavations uncovered bones belonging to a woman. Some believe they belonged to the nun. Others believe the land holds secrets older still. Borley Rectory was gone, but its story never left. Some buildings are simply wood and brick. Borley Rectory was something more. A memory, a wound, a voice of the past that refused to fade. Even today, on quiet nights, locals say they see a pale figure walking the old rectory grounds, searching for someone she once loved and lost. And so the haunting continues, not because the house stands, but because the story does. Borley Rectory may have burned, but its presence has never left.